Hello, Canned Cream here, CC for short, and today I would like to talk to you about the history of Equestria.
Began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall. We built the pyramids, math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang.
Or to be exact, piecing together elements of the past using information from the show into a cohesive narrative. Equestria's past has been touched upon numerous times within the series, but always in bits and pieces, such as during Family Appreciation Day, wherein we see a small glimpse of Canterlot and the place that would be Ponyville 2 generations prior. But the entire story travels far deeper than that, and is presented rather out of order. So get your notebooks and number 2 pencils ready, I'm about to learn you some history. If pieced together, I personally believe that the chain of events detailing the founding, fall, and rise of Equestria can be traced starting at the episode Hearthswarming Eve. It is here we see Equestria's earliest days, what we can call the First Era, or the Era of Disharmony. At least until such a time when we get an episode that brings us back farther than that. Here, Celestia and her sister Luna have not yet been born, and the duties of changing the weather and the turning of the days fell to the ponies themselves, causing each race to essentially use their own abilities as blackmail against the Earth ponies to gain food. It was a time when each race of ponies lived separate from one another. There was peace, but there was no harmony.
I know, can you believe it?
The Wendigo spirits, feeding off the distrust and anger, brought upon an endless winter that nearly brought the pony race to extinction, if not for the combined efforts of Smart Cookie, Private Pansy, and Clover the Clever. For the first time, harmony was used to defeat evil, a lesson that would thankfully not be forgotten as the years passed. Moving ahead to Hearts and Hooves Day, we see the pony population has joined together in harmony and has created a series of kingdoms, all under an egalitarian society and the political rule of a monarchy. Years pass happily as settlements grow and the ponies live and work together in Equestria's second era, the Era of Growth. Both Celestia and Luna are born and are raised within the Royal Kingdom that once stood where the Everfree Forest is today. But from far across the land, in another kingdom, a prince has just unknowingly given himself and the princess mare he loved a love poison, a recipe that I believe was given to him by none other than Discord. Listen to Sweetie Belle's description from the book she reads.
Well, there's something here about a dragon, the kingdom falling, chaos reigning.
Chaos and a dragon. Sounds a lot like someone we know, doesn't it? In the show, he's defined as a Draconequus, but this is likely a title given long after his fall. As far as we've seen, Discord is the one and only of his kind, thankfully. And if you were trying to describe him in historical texts, the closest word would be dragon. For further evidence that these two events happened within the same relative span of time, look at the stone cottage buildings surrounding Discord and compare them to the ones depicted in the Hearthswarming Eve play. They are nearly identical to one another, both built in the same medieval style. I believe this is a clear link between these two times, especially when comparing them to the far more sprawling buildings of modern Equestria. Jumping back to Hearts and Hooves Day, notice from the illustrations in Sweetie Belle's book that the princess is an alicorn. I believe that, much like how Cadence and Shining Armor were holding back the evil of Sombra in the Crystal Empire, this unnamed princess had been doing the same for a weaker Discord. This is why Discord gave the prince the potion. He knew full well that it would keep the princess from binding his powers any further and give him free reign. And just as he planned, when the princess's mind was forever broken by the potion, Discord was free to rise up and bring about Equestria's third era, the Era of Chaos.
Chaos is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Now we jump ahead to the events depicted in Twilight's flashback in Princess Twilight Sparkle. For an unknown length of time, Discord ruled the land, throwing Equestria into an endless reign of insanity. Kingdoms and lands fell as nobles and rulers gave in to Discord, but neither of the royal sisters would. Both Celestia and Luna set out on an epic quest to return harmony to their world. While the exact events of their journey are unknown, their weathered and worn state by the time they have attained the elements of harmony and confront Discord shows that their trek was not an easy one. Sealing the monster in stone, Equestria has been at last returned to normal, but not without a price. The pony population is broken and scattered, and the kingdoms have fallen. Even the sun and moon themselves, having been used as Discord's playthings for so long, can no longer be moved by unicorn powers alone. It takes the strength and concentration of a full-grown alicorn to tend to them. With the surviving ponies of Equestria looking for guidance, Celestia and Luna step forward to tend to the welfare of their people, ushering in the fourth era, the era of the Royal Sisters. For years upon years, the population of Equestria grows and thrives. The damages done by discord can never be fully repaired, but life has become calm and pleasant once again. But then come the events depicted within the opening scene of Friendship is Magic. Luna's transformation into Nightmare Moon, her failed uprising, and her banishment. Battle destroyed the castle, turning it from the pristine palace viewed within Twilight's flashbacks to the abandoned ruins we see today. On this darkest of days, Equestria can only watch as the princess that had once been their savior turns against them and is banished away. Unable to remain in the crumbling ruins of her former home, Celestia abandons the castle to the wilderness and founds the kingdom of Canterlot, thus ushering in the fifth era, the era of the sun, which would see a time of peace and harmony for 1,000 years until Nightmare Moon's return. But as we see not only in her defeat, reformation back into Luna, and return to the throne, but also with the events that unfold shortly after with the reappearance of the Crystal Empire and Discord's own conversion from evil to good, we are witnessing the birth of the land's sixth and current era, the era of return. And this is where we are now. A time of peace and prosperity, where all Equestria grows and thrives under the loving rule of its 4 princesses and its 1 prince. But do not get too comfortable, my friends, for you know what they say about those who fail to learn from history. And as we have seen from the past, for every rise Equestria has, there eventually comes its fall. And never has Equestria risen quite so high as it stands today. And with that in mind, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to see more, and as always,
Stay pony, my friends.